Call Halalim, La Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakach Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom to the brothers who pushing this gospel in truth and in sincerity. Shalom to you. Also, we're going to go into the subject of having many wives, because it never said in the scriptures that a man cannot have many wives. And those are Slakia, and it is many accounts in the Bible showing that men had more than one wife. I have a scripture here in Genesis, the 29th chapter, because we're going to go into a couple of those accounts and show you that men of the Lord had multiple wives. So we have Genesis 29th chapter, 16th verse, and it reads, "And Laban had two daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored." Leah was, she was pretty, but Rachel was more prettier, more beautiful, and she was favored. And Jacob loved Rachel and said, "I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter." And Laban said, "It is better that I give her to thee than that I should give her to another man. Abide with me." And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days for the love he had to her. And Jacob said unto Laban, 21st verse, "And Jacob said unto Laban, Give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her. And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah his daughter and brought her to him, and he went in unto her. And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah, his maid, for a handmaid. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said to Laban, What is this thou hast done unto me? Did not I serve with thee for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me?" So his uncle Laban tricked him and gave him the older daughter, which is Leah, instead of the one he favored, which is Rachel. I'm guessing once he threw the feast for him, he got him drunk and basically had his daughter covered. He necessarily didn't get him drunk. He probably had his daughter covered when she came into the room, so he couldn't see the face. And, probably the lights was out, and he ended up going into her, sleeping with her. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah, and he said to Laban, What is this thou hast done unto me? Did not I serve with thee for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me? 26th verse, "And Laban said, It must not be so done in our country to give the younger before the firstborn." So he basically telling him that he has to give the firstborn to wife before any other daughter that he have. 27th verse, "Fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet 7 other years." So you have to serve 7 more years in order to get Rachel. And Jacob did so and fulfilled her week, and he gave him Rachel his daughter to wife also. And Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah, his handmaid, to be her maid. And he went in also unto Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than Leah, and served with him yet 7 other years. And when Yahweh saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. So, to make a long story short, Jacob had to serve his uncle Laban to marry his 2 daughters. And he ended up marrying those 2 daughters, and after he married those two daughters, he ended up having kids by them. And he ended up having kids by Leah first because the Most High, Yahweh, saw that she was basically not favored by Jacob. So he opened up her womb to let her have kids. And after she had kids, Rachel was basically jealous that she had kids by Jacob. So she gave Jacob her handmaid, which was Bilhah, because they had two handmaids each. Bilhah was for Rachel and Zilpah was for Leah. And once Rachel gave Jacob Bilhah, he had a baby by Bilhah, and Leah start seeing what she had done, so she gave her handmaid to Jacob. And Jacob had a child by Zilpah. So he had two wives, and then he had their handmaids, which was two concubines for him. So that's more than one woman. So we're going to get another account dealing with King Solomon in 1 Kings 11 chapter. Let's see. All right, let's start the first verse. 1 Kings 11 chapter, first verse. But King Solomon loved many strange women. Those strange women was heathen women, not of the 12 tribes of Israel, outside those nations. Together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites, of the nations concerning which Yahweh said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go into them, neither shall they come in unto you, for surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love. So the Most High basically said, don't deal with these women, because at that time those women was worshiping other gods heavy. It didn't mean that we couldn't have other women from other nations, but it was just certain women of those nations that we should have not dealt with because of those gods they were serving. And let's just read a little bit more. The third verse. And he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart. And he did exactly what Yahweh said to not do. He said, don't mess with these group of nation of women, because they serve other God, and they'll turn you away from from him. Let's see here. For it came to pass when fourth verse, and it reads, for it came to pass when Solomon was old, that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with Yahweh his God, as was the heart of David his father. For Solomon went after Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Zidonians. Was I believe Ashtaroth was a fertility god. And okay, let's read that again. For Solomon went after Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Zidonians, and after Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites. And Solomon did evil in the sight of Yahweh, and went not fully after Yahweh, as did David his father. Then did Solomon build an high place for Chemosh, the abomination of Moab, in the hill that is before Jerusalem, and for Molech, the abomination of the children of Ammon. And likewise did he for all his strange wives, which burnt incense and sacrifice unto their gods. See, King Solomon went off by having many wives and serving their gods. It was nothing wrong with him having thousands of wives, 700 wives and 300 concubines. But when he started serving those gods they worship, that's when he did evil in the sight of the Yahweh, our Father. But he was permitted to have thousands of wives. There was nothing wrong with that. And I'm gonna get a precept on that in Exodus, Exodus 21st chapter. Let's see. All right, it's Exodus the 21st chapter, 10th verse. If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. And that key word is another. Those two key words is another wife. So it's okay to have many wives. Okay? So I guess polygamy is okay to do. The scriptures never even spoke of the word polygamy, but I believe that word came into play around the 1590s, 1591, when it was first recorded. And I believe it's a Greek word, polis, which is many, and gamos is marriage. If I'm not mistaken. So it's many marriages, marriage to many. But yeah, man, just wanted to touch on that subject. Hopefully this was a learning subject. Hopefully it was edifying. So Lord willing, until next time, Shalom.